The Rage Carrie 2 came out in 1999, and it was a movie that I saw when it came out. It was probably a year later. I saw it on Sky Television. I never really thought anything about it until this new restoration was coming out by 88 Films, and it just happens to be its 20th anniversary. Now, this is a continuation of De Palma's Carrie for the most part. One character from that movie continues into this one, which is Sue Snell, and she is now a guidance teacher, still played by Amy Irving, in this school, who starts to notice that one of her pupils, Rachel, is or has similar abilities as Carrie White, and this starts to freak her out a little bit because obviously she remembers how things went in the first time round and doesn't want that to happen the second time around. Rachel is a character who has been taken off her mum at an early age. Her mum is in a sanitarium. She is taken by these parents who pretty much see it as a paycheck rather than somebody to nurture and look after. She has a close friend. Something terrible happens to her at the start of the movie. There is a group of guys in the school who are just pretty much douchebags to the highest level, and we have a character who is kind of struggling to find her feet, find the person she wants to be. She is strong-willed. She's not as meek or as mild as Carrie White was. She is a strong person who knows her own mind, who is quite happy in being a little bit of an outcast, who it doesn't affect her. It gives her a layer of comfort and protection against the outside world. But somebody starts to break down those boundaries that she has. Jason or Jeremy London, one of the London brothers, who were in a bunch of movies at this time, as part of this group of guys who are just treating women like objects, who actually sees Rachel and finds somebody that he is attracted to, not just physically but as an emotional sense as well, and starts to form a relationship with her, much to the chagrin of his comrades, the guys who are just want to rack up the numbers and go through as many women as they can in the school, no matter how much carnage they cause. And this is where the movie kind of builds up from there. There is a strong connection to the first movie later on. There is something that connects Carrie White and Rachel a little bit more as well. And then you obviously have Sue Snell back again. It is a sequel. It came out long after the original, and it carries a lot of issues with it and a lot of good bits as well. The story is fairly interesting but kind of familiar at the same time. It does enough changes that it doesn't feel as if it is just following the ground of the original, which a lot of sequels do. Changing small things like changing Rachel and Carrie from being like a mild-mannered character to a strong-willed, a strong-minded individual character is a nice change. Having the bad guys be similar in both of the movies gives you something to kind of rally against, because you have this main character that you're with for most of the movie. Something terrible happens to her, and she has the ability to get retribution almost immediately on these people who need to have that kind of retribution. It's fun. You get to the final part of the movie, and there is what you would expect to happen, and it's well done. But again, it's hard to follow a masterpiece of a movie. A lot of movies fail when they try to do that. I'd say that The Rage Carrie 2 is a very solid movie, one that I enjoyed way more than I thought I was going to, one that I remembered parts of, but it didn't really stick with me. It's something that definitely struck a chord this time round. It has its faults, as in it feels like a movie from the 90s. It has those 90isms in it. The way the characters talk, the typical archetypes that it projects in its characters, some of its set pieces, the way it's filmed, and the cast that is in it as well, all give it credence to a time that wasn't the best. And from 1999, a year that was a fantastic movie year, it's easily understandable why this was kind of lost in amongst the rest of those movies. Carrie 2 was great. Really worthwhile checking out. I really enjoyed this movie. a lot more than I was expecting to. I loved the performance of Rachel. I loved some of the twists and turns. There are moments where it becomes a little bit tropey, a little bit tripe, but it fits with the whole aesthetic of the movie. And I think it's a package that's worth checking out. You know, if you love Carrie, then yeah, check out this. Just don't expect anything to be on the similar playing field as that. It's not. It's still good at what it does. It's just not a patch on Carrie. But then that movie's a masterpiece. It's a bit hard. It's a bit unfair to weigh the two of these together, even though they are, you know, connected. It's a hard thing to follow a really fantastic piece of work. A piece of work that still stands today, that's still revered today, and try to follow that up with something not as great as it, but still good in its own right. Now the disc has 5.1 and 2.0 stereo sound, it has subtitles, it is an audio commentary by the director and the director of photography, it has a second commentary by the director again, it has a 1 minute alternate ending that is weird. Just really weird. You can understand why they've taken it out. It's got commentary with the director. Just it shows you it twice and explains why she kind of put it in there and why she took it back out again as well. There is a 7.5 minute segment of deleted scenes, and as usual with these kind of things, you can kind of understand why they've been deleted. You get the theatrical trailer, and that is it. You get a terrific package. You get a slipcover and a booklet with the first pressing, which I suggest picking up. This is it seems weird to say it. You know, The Rage Carrie 2 is a really good movie. For me, it's a solid 3.5, 4 out of 5 movie. Something I really enjoyed, but then it kind of ticks all the boxes that I'm looking for. I would love to know your opinion of this movie, and try to pull yourself away from comparing it to Carrie. Because it's never going to be as good as that. But just on its own right, and amongst movies, other movies like it, how do you think it does? Would you recommend it? Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.